Last Thursday, we had another mass shooting. This time it took place in Annapolis, Maryland. And if you haven't heard, five people from the Capital Gazette were killed. Four of them being journalists. Once again, the GOP have offered their thoughts and prayers to this whole thing. Please, we haven't heard that enough. Now, this does seem like another tragedy that happened. If it wasn't predicted, or at least commanded beforehand, or at least this is what we're thinking. Allow me to clarify, if I may, too. See, last week, Milo Yiannopoulos, a right-wing pundit, had come out, if he wants to say jokingly, he pretty much said a statement like this: "I can't wait for the vigilante squads to start gunning journalists down on sight." As if to say the journalists are the enemies. And if he's the only one, he's wrong. Because Donald Trump has repeatedly, and I say this repeatedly, said that the media is the enemy of the people. Cite a lot of them being fake news. I mean, heck, months ago, he was talking to CBS news reporter Leslie Stahl, in which he points out this: "You know why I do it? I do it to discredit you all and demean you all. So when you write negative stories about me, no one will believe you." So, I mean, he said that to Leslie Stahl. Now, it gets even worse. Now that the Capital Gazette is the latest crime scene in which a 38-year-old disgruntled, not on his mental medication, man who has a history with the Capital Gazette, believe it or not, who has completely harassed them for over a year on Twitter, if you believe the reports. And finally, he just goes out and shoots people. I mean, this is all stemming from a... Pretty much he was mad at him being called out. He sued the Capital Gazette for defamation over a story that was done on him, and in which not only did it not go through, it got thrown out in the court system. He was mad, and then he killed these five people over at the Gazette. He's disgruntled. He's also lost in the head. And people are trying to figure out, wait. Did they predict this? Did the right wing actually predict this? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Milo Yiannopoulos and Donald Trump have now said, we didn't say that. We didn't say. I mean, if we did, we didn't mean it like that. In fact, after the shooting, Milo Yiannopoulos went on to Facebook, in which he said this: If there turns out to be any dimension to this crime related to my private misreported remarks, the responsibility for that lies squarely and wholly with the Beast and the Observer for drumming up the fake hysteria about the private joke, and with the verified liberals who pretend they thought I was serious. If it was a joke, it was a terrible joke, and it didn't even sound like a joke. Although it sounds like there's a coincidence between the shooter Jared Ramos and the right wing, because throughout Twitter, throughout all of Jared Ramos's rants, threats against the Capital Gazette, there's only been one post about Donald Trump. So it does sound like it was a pure coincidence that Milo Yiannopoulos made this remark about gunning down journalists, and Donald Trump, who was saying, The media is the enemy. Media is the enemy. Yeah, even though there's only one media he loves, and that's Fox News, mainly because that's his main mouthpiece. But misreported. So you're telling me what you said was not a joke, but you're also blaming the left. Is that what you're also pointing out? No. In fact, Sean Hannity is blaming Maxine Waters for what happened in Maryland. It doesn't make sense. What would Maxine Waters want? Oh, that's right. She had a rally in which she spoke to people about the GOP, right? Well, not only does Hannity actually blame Waters for this, he also blames Obama for the remarks before he left his presidency. It's like, what? Okay. Let's make a few things clear. One, the shooting with the Capital Gazette in Annapolis, Maryland, and the GOP making remarks about gunning down journalists, saying that media is the enemy. Coincidence. That's what I'm saying right now. Jerry Ramos was mad at the Capital Gazette long before those statements came out, and then you have the saying. So it's coincidence that it came out at the same time. However, blaming the left for what you guys have said. You guys are not going to take responsibility. You guys are not going to say, we did not mean for it to go down like that. And we apologize. We wish the best of our journalists. But instead go like, look, we're not responsible for the blood on my hands. Talk to the left. They're the ones who could not protect your ass. No. It doesn't work like that at all. The Capital Gazette should have been protected long ago. Jerry Ramos should have been pulled from Twitter. Should have been put in a mental facility or put in a jail long before this happened. And the policing of Twitter failed. That being said, before you blame the left, you might want to make a right turn to reality. It doesn't make sense for you to bash someone for something you did.